Good evening, folks. Indeed, Truck Davey at the truck and at home in his office in Salisbury, North Lanarkshire, where it's a dry evening. There is a rain warning, and it's 8 degrees. Now, what brings Davey to your screens this evening? Well, something so horrific that it prompted me to come on. And I'm not going to beat about the bush here, folks. I'm going to put it up and play it. Simple as that. And when you see this vile creature, remember, this vile creature is an affront to the people of these islands and is an affront to democracy. And it needs removing from public life forever. It needs to be debarred so it can never operate as a lawyer again. And it must never be allowed near a council, never mind the Westminster Parliament Cabinet. So I'm going to put it up, I'm going to play it, and then we'll discuss it and the context behind it. So here we go.
Seen now tens of thousands of people take to the streets following the massacre of Jewish people, the single largest loss of Jewish life since the Holocaust, chanting for the erasure of Israel from the map. To my mind, there's only one.
Let's pause there. Yep, there was a terrorist attack. Yep, it was a war crime. It was a crime against humanity. Let's not call it a war crime. And it must not be condoned. But at the same time, the response from the Israelis is to collectively punishment and speak of genocide to the Palestinian people. At the weekend there, Netanyahu addressed the Israeli people and says, and quoted a passage from the Old Testament. And that passage tells them to go and kill this particular enemy. And this time he means Palestine. Wipe out men, women, children, and suckling babies. Kill the sheep and kill the cows. So we've got Israeli ministers talking genocide here. Listen, I'll start us back up. Listen to this bloody odious creature.
One way to describe those marches. They are hate marches. What the police have made clear is that they are concerned that there's a large number of bad actors who are deliberately operating beneath the criminal threshold.
So let's go through that. If you were on a pro-Palestinian or stop the bloody war march because of the humanitarian disaster and attempted genocide in the Gaza Strip, then apparently you were on a hate march. And it would appear that the organisers of these marches are bad actors who are operating just below the criminal threshold. What she says is, for organising these protests, these people could well be criminalised in future. And what she says next should scare the fucking hair off every single citizen across these islands, citizens of Scotland and the subjects in England and Wales should scare the shite out of them all. So here we go. Wait to hear what this says next. This odious creature.
In a way which you or I, or the vast majority of British people, would consider to be utterly odious. We've seen now tens of thousands of people take to the streets following the massacre of Jewish people, the single largest loss of Jewish life since the Holocaust, chanting for the erasure of Israel from the map. To my mind,
I haven't heard anybody chant for Israel to be removed from the map. What people have chanted for is a ceasefire and a two-state solution to end the bloody bloodshed. This one isn't just an odious creature, it's a liar as well as an odious creature. Let's move on.
And there's only one way to describe those marches. They are hate marches. What the police have made clear is that they are concerned that there's a large number of bad actors who are deliberately operating beneath the criminal threshold in a way which you or I, or the vast majority of British people, would consider to be utterly odious. We've seen now tens of thousands of people take to the street.
Seems I've picked up the wrong line here. I've picked up the wrong coverage. The other one's on my Facebook timeline. But what she then goes on to say is, like Just Stop Oil protesters, if people continue to protest against the genocide that's happening right now in Gaza, then she's going to change the law to criminalise it. She's going to change the law to criminalise you or I taking part in a peace protest in Glasgow, London, Liverpool, Manchester, Aberdeen, Dundee, Edinburgh. If we go out on a protest march to highlight what's going on in Gaza and demand that the UK government, who is out of step with the UK-wide population on this, then you could be criminalised. And she basically called the people who are organising these marches criminals. And she's going to change the law to criminalise anybody who protesting the genocide in Gaza. Now she's right, 1,400 people wiped out in a terrorist attack. That's bloody a heinous crime, and nobody is condoning it. But since then, 8,000 civilians have died in Gaza. 8,000 civilians. And it's still going on. You've got the finance minister talking about genocide. You've got Netanyahu talking about genocide. You've got openly printed in papers out there talking about genocide. And they're talking about wiping the Palestinian people off the map. And this odious creature wants to prevent us from protesting that. Remember, folks, I said yesterday in our programme, it was people power that ended apartheid in South Africa. It will be people power that ends apartheid, the apartheid regime run by the Israelis in the Middle East and in Palestine. Now, this odious creature needs called out, and that's what brings me here today. Do you know the clip before? I've seen this clip, because you guys know I don't watch television, was a clip of a baby sucking on the tap of an empty water bowser, trying to get some water. A baby in Palestine, in Gaza. The Israelis have cut off the water, the electricity, the food, the medicine. They are committing war crimes. And we'll get this odious creature going against 78% of the UK population and want to criminalise that 78% of the UK population for demanding that our government condemns what Israel's doing and demands a ceasefire. Remember, folks, the UK is one of the 5 permanent members of the Security Council of the United Nations, and the UK is one of the 5 members which is stopping motions which have been passed by the other 12 members, 10 or 12 members, to bring about a ceasefire and to get back round the table for a 2-state solution. This odious creature wants to take away your democratic right to protest. That odious creature on the screen there needs to be removed from office. And it's time to get out, and it is time to tell these people it's time for them to go. And it's also time to jail them. It is time to jail these people for undermining our democratic rights with their police crime courts and sentencing bill down that road, their new security bill, their online security bill, their borders and immigration bill, their anti-strike laws. these people, this odious creature here, the Home Secretary, is undermining democracy across these islands. Never mind the way that the Scottish democracy has been oppressed and denied. It's moved on for just oppressing and denying the Scots their democracy. It is undermining the democracy of everybody else on these islands. 78% of the population have been surveyed, and surveys, show that we want a ceasefire in Palestine. We want a ceasefire between Israel and Palestine. But we'll get Sir Comrade Starmer, the kid starver, who was financed in his leadership bid to take over Corbyn to the tune of 50,000 quid by the Israeli lobby group, Labour Friends for Israel. And you've got Sunak, for whatever reason, because he wants to keep his green card, I suppose, or get his green card back, because he's off to America the minute he's out of office, condoning war crimes in our names. Now, as you know, I'm a pro-independence supporter. I want to fuck away for that shower of shite down that road. And that vile creature on the screen is the reason for it. That vile creature on the screen is the reason why the people of Scotland need to get rid of these, get away from these nutters down that road. Apart from the oppression that we feel here in Scotland, the denial of our democracy, the stealing of our natural resources, well, this odious creature and a like are stealing your democratic rights, undermining democracy in England and Wales, absolutely ignoring democracy in Scotland, talking about breaking the Good Friday Agreement. These people are monsters, and they don't care about you, and they don't care that you care, and that you share a common humanity with the people of Palestine. We can all see what's going on. We are listening to Israeli ministers and prime ministers talking about genocide. And this vile creature wants to criminalise supporting the Palestinian people. I said the other day that I'm ashamed of these people. I'm ashamed to be associated with these people through this toxic union. So I am. They're an affront to my humanity, they're an affront to your humanity, and they're an affront to democracy. These people, this particular creature, needs swiftly removed from office and probably deported back to where her parents came from. Now let's see how she feels about it. So that's what brings Davy to your screens today. An angry rant about the vile creature on the screen, telling us that the hundreds of thousands of people who are protesting to stop the bloodbath in Gaza and in Palestine in general, she's going to criminalise it. She's going to change the law so that we are muffled in our common humanity and support for our fellow humans in Palestine and the Gaza Strip. And she should be reported to the police for hate speech. That's all I've got to say in the matter, folks, but this one couldn't go without me addressing it. That vile creature on the screen needs to go. We'll see you on Monday, if no before, because really what's going on is turning my bloody stomach. And I mean that. Sorry, apparently it's Thursday. Madam Director's correcting me. Thursday's the next time you see us. See you Thursday afternoon, 4 o'clock.